I was in Chicago because I was working at Alinea. I was the pastry chef there, and Chicago has a very big Mexican community, and so just by default there's a lot of great Mexican restaurants, Mexican grocery stores. I've always sort of never really had many hobbies, so on my day off, my hobby would be to go to an interesting neighborhood and buy ingredients from an interesting place and take them home and try to figure out how to cook them. For some reason though, that plus the idea that my wife was kind of brought up with Mexican food, and she's like, well, if you're interested in this, I can show you some of it. It kind of made it really comfortable for me to learn about it. And the more I tasted of it, the more I was just really fascinated by it, the more it seemed new. When we were first planning Empeon, I guess what I had in my head was that, well, maybe I should start with the easiest part of Mexican cooking. And in my head, that was tacos. What I learned very quickly is that there's absolutely nothing easy about any part of Mexican cooking. And tacos are certainly not something to be taken lightly. I feel like after 3 years, we've gotten better at it, but our taco philosophy is still evolving and changing. The way I see us going is that things are actually getting more and more simple. It needs to be a great tortilla right off the comal, still holding its original heat. And there needs to be a delicious product on that. And there needs to be a salsa. And there might need to be some cilantro and onion. And that's oversimplifying it, but it should be only a few elements. When we opened the first Empeon, the reaction that I got was to be expected. People thought that I was taking a step down, or I was declaring that creativity is not important anymore and now I want to do this. And that actually is 100% opposite of what I was actually doing. If you were to work for Alinea and then you were to work for WD-50 and then you were to do what everyone thinks is the natural progression of that, for me it would have been a pastry-driven, hyper-modern tasting menu restaurant. There definitely would have been liquid nitrogen, hydrocolloids flying around. That actually, in my mind, was the least creative thing I could do. Becoming a pastry chef changed my life. Deciding to cook Mexican food forced me to change my life again, and it still is. It's a commitment, it's a marriage, and when you're looking at it over like, well, what is it now and what is it going to be 20 years from now, that's really exciting.